I think almost all of the nervousness is over. I would have been really nervous for the whole process itself. It is so audacious to even think that we could make that happen. And to have had it land and with a tiny little bit of gravity, of course, bounce ever so slowly like a super slow motion camera collision, and then finally bounce to a stop. And the fact that it's still working and sending data and images from so far away, I think it's just marvelous. Now's not a time for nervousness. Now's a time to gather all the science we possibly can.
Okay, and I have to admit, I was skeptical, so I was very impressed that it made it at all onto the comet's tail. Right, now talking of audacity, I have a bone to pick with you. You've told us all along that you're an astronaut. I don't believe you. I think you're an artist. I've been looking at the photographs in your book, and they are stunning.
Well, I had a really good subject to take pictures of, and the ultimate tripod as well of being on the International Space Station. And also I took thousands of pictures and tried to choose the ones that showed the world at her very best for the book. So I'm glad you enjoy it. It's such a unique and privileged human vantage point to see the world from on board the space station, and I did my absolute best to share it with people in the book.
I'm going to pick out just a few of them, and I want to start with the one of the eye of the Sahara, Mauritania, which is just magical.
Isn't that a bizarre thing to look at? Even when you're staring at it, you're going, how can that possibly be there? But we use it as like as a get well point, like, I know exactly where I am now. There's the eye of the desert looking at me. Okay, so that's Mauritania, and then you could look across the Sahara or back up at Tripoli or across to right along the coast. So but it is so distinctive. It's like an all-day sucker that someone has taken one side off and left it there in the middle of Africa for a guidepost for astronauts.
Yeah, Chris, nature provides some of the most extraordinary images. You've got the Himalayas, of course, you've got the Amazon forest, but there are some man-made features in this, and a couple of them are islands. I want to look at the pictures of Venice and the pictures of Manhattan, and particularly that one of Venice. I just find it magical.
I waited a long time to take that picture, Kathy. I tried to get pictures of Venice. It's often hazy or a little bit of cloud coming down off the Alps. And finally, one day, I saw that it was going to be clear. I grabbed the camera, and I was waiting for the angle between the spaceship and Venice and the sun to be just right so that it really caught the light, so you could see the actual pink of the rooftops and the thin umbilical from land bringing everything out to that very improbable little city in the bay. And to me, it showed a lot of the history of the place in that one quick snapshot. I was really pleased with how it came out.
Yeah, I love that one. I love Venice as well. And then the other ones I love, of course, are of New York City and New York in the daytime. But I was really struck by the ones of New York at night. There's that city of Manhattan at night, and of course, it's all glowing with lights, but particularly Midtown Manhattan. And I swear to God, it is Times Square that is lighting up like a beacon.
It is. You can see the real nexus of where the strongest light is coming from. You see it in Las Vegas, you see it in Tokyo, and you definitely see it on Manhattan. The Central Park goes dark with the big rectangle, and I thought it was fun in the book to put the daytime picture and the nighttime picture next to each other, because we as astronauts see that everywhere, the weird sort of split of how it looks natural, but then the light points out exactly where the people have left the lights on. And to see the two in such a heavily populated area, I thought was really instructional as well as self-reflective of our fear of the dark.